Hello, this is Keely Flaminio. I'm a certified personal trainer at the Best Buy Wellness Zone. Today I'm going to be showing you just a presentation about posture. I know many of us are kind of adjusting to the new normal and working from home. So posture was important before all of this, but now I think it's even more so at the forefront, especially with setting up your at-home workstations and just being more mindful with our posture just in our daily life. So hopefully today you'll be able to walk away with a couple helpful tips, and we'll go ahead and get started. Before we go forward into this presentation, I just want to make sure that you're aware this does not take away from a full ergonomic assessment. By all means, if you have the resources to get your workstation set up ergonomically by a professional, I highly recommend that. And again, these are just helpful tips that'll help you kind of be more mindful about your posture and just your daily life and how posture can affect it and what you can do to help it. So kind of going into this, kind of check in with your body and what message is it telling you about your posture already. Are you slouching? Are you slumping over? Is your back rounded? As you can see in this photo, there's numerous um, postures going on. So you have someone looking down at their phone, so it's causing stress to the neck, looking down at the tablet, cross legs, anything like that. Um, so posture really refers to how you hold your body, and there are two types to posture. So that's static posture, which is sitting, standing, or sleeping, and then dynamic posture is moving. Knowing your spine. The spine is your body's main support structure, and it has three major natural curvatures. Your first one is a cervical vertebrae, which is your neck. Second is your thoracic vertebrae, and that's kind of your middle back. And the third is your lumbar vertebrae, so that's your low back. And your posture is just how you hold your spine, and it can either prevent or cause pain. So hopefully, again, by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to walk away with some ways that will give you more control of your body and make sure you're helping your posture, not hurting it. So time for a little pop quiz. True or false? Good posture means keeping your back as straight as possible instead of slouching. And the answer is actually false. Correct posture maintains the three curves of the spine, but does not over-exaggerate them, which in turn helps prevent pain and injuries. Poor posture can affect your health in numerous ways. First one being increased pain, such as in the back, neck, shoulders, arms, and legs. There's decreased flexibility, poor balance, increased risk of falls and injuries, which that's also related to the balance, strength, and flexibility component. There's also impacts to the other body functions, such as breathing and digestion. And then the other one being increased fatigue. So the body isn't moving efficiently. We all know how we feel, if we've been sitting for a lot of the day, maybe a lot of the stress is caused in your shoulders or your upper back, and that can be caused from your shoulders hiked up, which in turn kind of makes everything else a little bit more tight. I know I feel a lot of my stress kind of in my traps. So I really have to be mindful about keeping my shoulders relaxed and down, which we'll get to in a few slides coming up. So posture pointers. The first thing we want to kind of remember is maintaining that neutral spine. So we don't want to over exaggerate our stance, and that means avoiding locking out our joints. So we don't want to lock out our knees or our elbows. We want to make sure we keep our chin at the level with the floor, and you keep your head balanced over your shoulders. So that's ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles that should be aligned. And we also want to keep your feet about shoulder width apart just to help with our balance. And again, just avoiding the locking of the joints. And we want to keep the abs and deep core muscles slightly contracted. And by doing that, that will help support your spine a little bit more. Posture pointers on sitting. First thing is we want to make sure we keep our shoulders relaxed and down. Your hips and knees should be approximately level, or the hips should be slightly higher than the knees. You can then support the natural curvature of your low back by either using the lumbar support features on your chair, or you can even roll a towel and place it in the curve of the low back. This can also be done when you're driving as well. Next one, when you're turning, make sure you turn the whole body other than just twisting at the waist. This just allows for more of those core muscles to help support you when you're moving your body. And finally, making sure that you take little breaks throughout your day, or even just moving every 30 to 60 minutes. So maybe if you're working at a computer, it's just important to physically get up, and maybe you can walk to get a quick drink of water. You can set a little reminder on your phone or a reoccurring reminder on your calendar to get up and move, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. Just kind of getting that movement throughout the day will also give you a little bit of an energy boost as well. If you're still working at your computer with your workstation, it's also really important to consider your monitor height. Your monitor should be adjusted so your neck is aligned with the spine, and that prevents neck pain. So another quick little quiz, true or false? Standing all day at a standing desk is better than sitting all day. The answer is false. Even though standing desks are very popular nowadays, prolonged static standing can cause back pain as much as prolonged sitting. It's also possible to have poor posture while you're standing at a computer. And so really, going back to our last slide, just important to get movement throughout the day and just kind of alternating between postures throughout your day as well. And setting those little reminders to do so will be very beneficial. So when it comes to sleeping, with our first point, we want to try and use a pillow that supports the neck, and it also keeps the head aligned with the spine. On your side, we want to put a pillow between the knees, and this can also increase comfort and keep the spine more in alignment as well. On your back, we can put a pillow under the knees, and this can help reduce the pressure on the spine. And we want to try to avoid sleeping on our stomach as much as possible, because this can lead into more discomfort with the spine, and it kind of takes us out of that alignment as well, and that can increase your back and neck pain. Work within your reach zone. By doing this, we reduce the stress on your neck, the entire back, shoulders, arms, by keeping work close to the body, and it's within the ideal or preferred range. And this also applies to sitting as well. So if we look at the diagram, it goes from the very poor range to poor, a little bit better, so in the fair category, and ideal. When lifting, we want to make sure we first assess the situation before anything, and don't be afraid to ask for help if something you're lifting is a little bit too heavy. We want to stand close to the object, about feet width apart, with that firm, safe footing. And we squat down first, making sure we bend at the knees, firmly have a grasp on the object, and keep it as close to us as possible. So that'll allow us to use more of our core muscles to slowly lift up using our legs, not our low back, and carrying the object close to the body and again at waist level. If we have to turn, make sure we pivot with our feet and we avoid just twisting and turning at the trunk. And same thing comes into play as you lower the object down as well. I know it's easy to kind of get the work done and you just want to quick put it down, but we have to keep all of these points in mind to make sure we're safely lifting objects and putting them down. So what are our steps moving forward? Like I mentioned before, setting that reminder, whether that's on your calendar, you can keep a sticky note at your desk, just somewhere that is going to really pop out at you. Make sure we get up and move. Always making sure we practice lifting using the proper technique like we just talked about, especially with the lighter loads as well. When sitting, we can use a rolled towel to support that low back, or if your chair allows it, you can go into that lumbar support as well. Then focusing on working with your safe reach zone. So going back to that diagram that was listed before. And I hope that you were able to walk away with some helpful tips on posture. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please post a comment, or you can like this presentation on our Facebook page, and I will be happy to send out the handout that also goes along with this presentation. And have a great day.